Atlanta police are blaming a local rapper's music video for the deaths of two teen-year-olds.
It was just a concert. I was waiting for little baby to come buy my tacos up.
And cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival stronghold and the music.
Hey, what's the matter with Lil Baby? Rumors are circulating, fans are shocked, and the streets are ablaze with the same question. Is Lil Baby really giving up rap? And if so, why now? There is some serious behind-the-scenes turmoil developing here that no one anticipated. So this isn't simply another rumor circulating in the music industry. Relationships broke down, emotions ran high, and things quickly turned from business to personal, according to people close to Baby. People are claiming that this is the end of an era, not just a hiatus. Friendships are in jeopardy. The family is split. And charges are circulating that have the potential to permanently damage reputations and jobs. Do you believe that you know Lil Baby? Rethink your thought. The aftermath from what began as a little incident turned into a major scandal. Well, that could potentially alter our perception of him. Stay tuned because we're going to get deep into the real story, the one they don't. Want you to hear that led to Lil Baby's unexpected choice. You'll be wondering about everything by the end of this video. I promise. It all began when the people closest to the little newborn started to notice something wasn't right. Conversations were cut short. The atmosphere on set was tight, and there was an unsaid burden that nobody could ignore. The typically cheerful and focused rapper appeared disturbed, almost haunted, according to insiders. According to people close to the infant, he was going through a personal betrayal that rocked him to his core. It had nothing to do with music, but rather with loyalty, trust, and family. According to rumors. The issue started when a long-standing confidant, someone the infant trusted like a brother, allegedly gave a rival camp access to private information. This wasn't your average industry. We're discussing private information, business plans, and even unheard songs that might have made all the difference for the baby. Fans have been perplexed as to why such a close buddy would act in this way, but sources insist that it was more than envy. Rather, it was a long simmering resentment. Emotions were running high when the baby received the news. According to people close to him, he addressed the pal during a private meeting that swiftly got out of hand. One witness claims to have heard accusations flying back and forth between furious voices. Baby allegedly screamed, "You stabbed me in the back," his voice breaking with a mixture of hurt and rage. Instead of denying it, the buddy revealed something shocking. The infant had been disregarding the people who had helped him get to where he was. This simply served to stoke the flames, causing a rift that nobody believed would ever be healed. To make things worse, the baby's personal life began to be affected by this disagreement. His well-known close-knit family was split up. While some members thought the friend's charges were true, others took baby's side and vigorously defended him. Old wounds were reopened, and relatives and childhood acquaintances took sides as a result of this separation. Fans were left wondering who was speaking the truth as a result of the cryptic remarks and subtle insults that went viral on social media. Baby's crew made an effort to maintain professionalism in the midst of all this mayhem. His manager, who was renowned for being calm, tried to resolve the conflict. To try heal the strained relationships, they convened emergency family dinners, set up meetings, and even hired outside counselors. However, whenever it appeared that things may calm down, more information surfaced, including details of mishandled funds, unfulfilled commitments, and covert plans. Baby was right in the center of a full-scale conflict that began as a leak. It wasn't just internal pressure. His future started to be questioned by fans who had long viewed Baby as the unstoppable force in rap. Speculation erupted on social media, with hashtags like #LilBabyRetires going viral overnight. Reactions were mixed, with some admirers pleading with him to change his mind and others believing that this was the start of a new era for the rising star. Influencers and other artists stepped into the discussion, with some lending support and others stoking the flames with their personal tales of industry betrayal. A well-known rapper from Baby's entourage, apparently, went live on Instagram at one especially dramatic moment, implying even more sinister behind-the-scenes truths. He accused certain people, without mentioning names, of playing both sides and using Baby as a tool for their own ends. With passions running high and the hip-hop community split, this just made the drama worse. Although Baby staff swiftly...
Listen.
Yes, sir.
Promises. Make promises. Just keep promises. Whatever you anytime you ever think you want to know anything, tell me. I'll tell you anything. But you tell the world. What you gonna do? Yes, you can. Hold it.
I don't have your number.
Well, give it to me. You ain't giving it to me.
Baby staff swiftly put an end to the rumors, describing the live session as unproductive and harmful. The damage had already been done because the narrative had gained momentum. Amidst this chaos, Baby's musical career experienced an odd lull. Planned collaborations were put on hold, recording sessions were canceled, and even his social media accounts were eerily silent. According to insiders, the Baby was having trouble deciding whether to battle through the storm or to leave it all together. His creative and mental health were suffering due to the weight of betrayal and family strife, and many questioned whether he would be able to recover from such a severe personal catastrophe. Then came the most unexpected turn of events. A chat between Baby and a close friend was leaked, revealing that the rapper was genuinely thinking about giving up music entirely. Baby was heard stating, "I don't know if I can do this anymore," in the tape. All the backstabbing, all the phony love. After watching the video, supporters were horrified and flooded the internet with messages urging him to stay, saying perhaps it's time to step back for good. Others, however, interpreted it as evidence that Lil Baby's rap career was coming to an end. This leak led to even more conjecture. Was the treachery the only reason for Baby's resignation, or was there another factor at work? Rumors began to circulate about disagreements over contracts with his label, conflicts with producers, and even family members pressuring him to concentrate on other endeavors. According to some insiders, Baby was being pressured to take an alternative route, such as acting, business, or even temporarily hiding in the background to save his reputation. It became impossible to overlook the emotional toll on the Mitzah's personal life in the midst of all of this. According to reliable sources, the Baby's connection with his long-term girlfriend had also deteriorated. Stressed out and under continual public observation, conflicts broke out behind closed doors. One source shared a devastating event in which the infant was spotted, leaving a furious argument with tears running down his cheeks. This was a side of him that the public rarely saw. Meanwhile, the drama within the family boiled over. According to reports, the Baby's siblings stormed away after an intense dispute with a friend who had deceived him, vowing never to forgive. Once celebrating relatives were now avoiding contact out of fear of being ensnared in the gunfire. Under the merciless scrutiny of the internet, the family was left split, shattered by mistrust and old grudges. As if that weren't enough, rumors of court cases began to spread. Some claimed that Baby's team was getting ready to file a lawsuit against the buddy for defamation and breach of contract, while others thought the dispute may result in criminal charges. Insiders warned that the fallout might endure for years and could ruin Baby's career forever, adding yet another level of complexity to an already tense situation. Baby largely kept quiet in public during all of this, which led to further rumors. His remarks were emotional and opaque when he did speak. "Sometimes the people closest to you can hurt you the most," Baby said in a rare interview. Fans and industry insiders alike deduced that something significant was about to happen, or that the Baby might be leaving rap entirely. It's hard to keep going when you don't know who to trust. Then the shocking revelation arrived. It's a surprise social media post from the infant himself. Fans frantically tried to figure out what he meant when he wrote this straightforward statement. "It's time for me to focus on what really matters," without providing any context. Was that a retirement hint, a fresh chapter, or anything more startling? Although the message was promptly removed, screenshots had already spread widely, stoking the controversy. More voices entered the discussion as the tension increased. Producers, celebrities, and even the Baby's mentors offered their opinions on the matter. While some cautioned Baby about the risks of burning bridges in the industry, others advised him to remain tough and weather the storm. The argument gained a lot of attention on blogs, podcasts, and social media, demonstrating that it was more than simply a personal rivalry and might mark a sea change in hip-hop history. Lil Baby was in the center of it all, caught up in a tornado of betrayal, family conflict, and uncertain employment. The once unstoppable rapper was suddenly up against his hardest fight to date. One that had nothing to do with prizes or charts, but rather with loyalty, trust, and achieving inner peace. Fans were left wondering if Lil Baby would return stronger or if this was the end of his rap career. As emotions were running high and every action was being closely examined at this point, the story becomes even more bizarre, and we have only just begun. The drama is far from ended, and there will likely be even more surprising turns in the upcoming chapter. Therefore, pay close attention because in part 2, we'll explore the aftermath of the Baby's surprise declaration, as well as the unexpected allies and adversaries that emerge. You won't want to miss it. I promise. The mood around Lil Baby altered abruptly as his mysterious social media post began to garner attention. The rapper's camp went into complete lockdown mode and would not comment on the circulating rumors. However, behind closed doors, feelings were more intense than ever. Some people who had previously supported the infant started to doubt their allegiance, while others saw a chance to further their own goals. The abrupt appearance of a previously unidentified person claiming to have insider knowledge, a former associate of the Baby's betrayer, who started abruptly disclosing texts and audio messages to the media, was one of the most shocking occurrences. These letters implied that the treachery was more extensive than anyone had thought, involving covert transactions and deceptions intended to erode Baby's influence in the sector. These leaks claim that the Baby's friend was actively planning to seize control of the Baby's commercial endeavors and personal brand in addition to simply disclosing information. Fans were taken aback. How could someone so close to Lil Baby hatch such a scheme to harm him? Reactions were all over the internet, with some people vehemently defending the infant and others denouncing the snake in his group. In rap forums and comment sections, conspiracy rumors involving money, power battles, and even threats started to circulate. Heartbreak was quickly giving way to high-stakes drama in the story. In the meantime, the Baby's relatives weren't merely observing. According to sources, his mother called an urgent family gathering in an attempt to mend the damaged connections. According to reports, she begged for peace, stating that the entire situation was destroying the family and endangering the Baby's mental health. She informed them that he was more than just a rapper. He is a father, a brother, and a son. We must stand together. But reconciliation...
He did the same thing he did. Stood up in court. And they were wow, that was all I ever get to rocking with rat. And you be preaching about that too, man. You can't do that, man. That's a fact, bro. A rat, bro. I understand all that. Help put you on. What is it, man? A rat, I don't know what help. Give me $1 million. Man, you're a rat. Whatever you're talking about. Imagine telling them niggas still beat the case.
Reconciliation was all but impossible due to deep-seated wounds and past grudges. During that meeting, there was a heated argument in which the Baby's uncle accused the betrayer of being a greedy opportunist who never had the Baby's best interests in mind. Several family members allegedly left in exasperation, and voices were raised and tears were shed. The meeting ended with increased tension and divisiveness rather than a clear result. The friend who betrayed the infant didn't keep silent, which made the situation worse. Influencers and other artists publicly weighed in, escalating the drama into a full-fledged public feud. Through a series of ambiguous Instagram stories and cryptic tweets, they implied that Baby was hiding the truth and that fans were being fed lies. This set off a social media war, with Baby supporters responding with messages defending his character and denouncing the betrayer as a traitor. Baby's manager, who allegedly threatened to resign if things didn't improve quickly, was added to this mix. According to sources, the manager was worn out from attempting to balance the rivalry and ongoing scandals and was concerned that Baby's career would be irreparably harmed by this mayhem. According to people close to the team, there were serious discussions about reorganizing Baby's management as a whole, which could indicate significant changes are coming. The pressure was evident even when the Baby made a rare public appearance at a charity function during this storm. He hardly interacted with fans or the media, according to reports, and appeared tired and distracted. Fans interpreted Baby's evasive response to a question about the rumors. Sometimes you've got to take a step back and figure out what's real as evidence that the rapper was still considering his future. The biggest surprise, however, was when a phone call that had been leaked online showed a furious conversation between a Baby and a prominent record label boss. Baby seemed irritated during the call, accusing the label of pushing him toward ventures he didn't believe in and failing to assist him during this difficulty. The boss retaliated by reminding Baby of his contractual duties and threatening to take legal action if he left. Fans were worried that this battle might turn into a messy lawsuit because of the obvious tension. Then came the wild card, an unexpected appearance from one of the greatest hip-hop icons, who apparently reached out to the infant behind the scenes to provide encouragement and advice. According to insiders, this seasoned performer reminded Baby of his heritage and potential and asked him to consider his options carefully before deciding to quit. By demonstrating that there are people who are willing to support you even in the most difficult circumstances, the mentor's engagement gave the situation a fresh sense of optimism. Nevertheless, when reports circulated that the infant was being threatened by different factions, the story took a darker turn. Insiders muttered that some industry participants were prepared to go to any lengths to keep Baby down because they didn't want him to restore his influence. Rumors that the Baby's safety was actually in jeopardy were stoked when it was claimed that his security had been strengthened and that he had been told to keep quiet for a while. Baby's song began to capture the pandemonium in the midst of all of this. Unreleased songs with emotional, unvarnished lyrics that alluded to loss, betrayal, and the difficulty of remaining true to oneself started to surface. His new sound was hailed by both reviewers and fans for its honesty and sincerity, but some questioned whether it was a parting message wrapped in artistic masquerade. The song went viral on social media, with fans analyzing every word, certain that the Baby was giving a final warning. One of the most talked about leaks was a song in which the Baby seemed to address his betrayer directly, rapping lines like, "Thought you were family, but you stabbed me deep. Now all these demons got me losing sleep." In a surprise interview with a major hip-hop outlet, Baby revealed his issues with mental health amid the pandemonium. Just when it seemed like the drama couldn't get any thicker, he acknowledged experiencing overwhelm, struggling with anxiety, and doubting his identity outside of music. His voice cracked as he said, "It's been the hardest time of my life. However, I'm still here and battling." Although it increased the stakes, this unvarnished honesty gave Baby even more support. Fans now wanted him to recover rather than merely make a comeback. Speculation about quitting gave way to prayers for his well-being. When that source of pressure changed, more surprising characters appeared as the plot developed. In a public declaration, Baby's longtime producer promised to support Baby through thick and thin. However, he also alluded to problems behind the scenes, noting that their work has recently been difficult due to artistic differences and industry machinations. Meanwhile, competing rappers took advantage of the situation, with some subtly disparaging Baby in their songs or statements on social media. Hip-hop rivalry is fierce, and many saw an opportunity to establish themselves at the top when Baby became vulnerable. This raised questions about whether the rap game will experience a power vacuum following Baby's departure. Then came the most surprising turn of events yet. Rumors of a covert meeting between the Baby and his betrayer, set up by friends who shared interests in an effort to promote harmony. Insiders claimed that the encounter was emotional and uncomfortable, with the Baby encountering the friend in person for the first time in months. It was reported that the discussion was full with sobs, regrets, and difficult realities. However, it was unclear if this would strengthen the division or bring about reconciliation. Fans were left on edge as they awaited the next dramatic update because there were so many moving factors and emotions running high. The narrative of Baby wasn't only about a rapper considering leaving. It was also about a young star struggling to regain his identity, a family being split apart, and trust being broken, as if the storm wasn't enough. New speculations regarding Baby's future plans began to circulate. Would leaving rap mark the end of his career or the start of something unexpected? Others rumored that he was considering playing parts, starting a fashion company, or committing himself full-time to philanthropy. There were countless options, and the conjecture merely fueled the flames. The circumstances for what might be the greatest comeback or the last farewell in hip-hop history were established by this complex web of treachery. Family conflict, industry politics, and personal hardship. And believe me when I say that the next section will unveil secrets and unexpected turns, such as startling alliances, betrayals from unexpected sources, and a revelation that has the power to completely alter the course of events. The narrative is far from over. So stay tuned for part 3. Lil Baby's drama took a worse turn just when everyone believed things could finally settle down. The rapper's covert encounter with his betrayer didn't go as smoothly as planned, according to people close to him. What began as an effort to make amends swiftly descended into a heated dispute fueled by years of unresolved hurt and animosity. Witnesses said that because of the intense emotions, family members had to intervene and physically separate the two before things became out of control. Baby allegedly addressed the betrayer with some hard facts during that emotional meeting, including accusations of manipulation, greed, and open treachery that were deeply hurtful. It was reported that the Baby screamed, "You played me for a fool," in a hurtful tone. The traitor retaliated by accusing Baby of being cold and aloof and condemning him for ignoring those who contributed to the establishment of his kingdom. Reopening wounds that had just started to scab over was the opposite of what should have been a healing process. The consequences, this encounter spread across Baby's social circle. The division that had begun months earlier was rekindled as friends and family were compelled to choose sides once more, fearing that they would be caught in the crossfire of what was rapidly becoming a full-fledged civil war inside the camp. Some of Baby's closest pals started to quietly distance themselves. Given how close-knit his team had been, the industry was stunned to learn that Baby was thinking of severing ties with longtime partners. Meanwhile, the Baby's online persona became increasingly enigmatic. He remained utterly silent for weeks after removing his previous cryptic post, which fueled rumors that he was truly thinking about leaving the music industry. While some admirers believed he might be struggling with more serious mental health concerns, others conjectured he was just coping with exhaustion. His silence simply increased the intensity of the pressure and the volume of the murmurs. In the midst of this quiet, a new person appeared, the Baby's younger brother, who had up until now mostly avoided the spotlight. The brother finally spoke up during a rare Instagram live session, confronting the situation head-on. "We're family," he stated in a steady, although moved voice. "Even though things have been difficult, we must ride together or perish together."
Like, come on, bro, you know what's gonna go on. Like, how the hell you can, you know what I'm saying? Ain't even like that, man. Got tickets on a lot of these folks. I'm telling you.
We just heard somebody say these folks got tickets on these people. We know what's going on. First of all, who was that said that about the tickets?
Unk, the unidentified male that was being referred to as Unk.
And he's speaking with Mr. Sanders.
Correct.
And what, in your experience, do you know what tickets are?
A price on somebody's head.
What do you mean by what do you mean on somebody's head? What is that?
Like a bounty.
Okay. To have them arrested?
Okay.
And who were they referring to in that portion of the call?
They were saying that they had heard that Dominique Jones had tickets on a lot of people's heads.
Dominique Jones that wanted to have people harmed.
Correct.
All right, moving on.
So there's this journalist. He's out of Atlanta. Well-reputed journalist. His name is George Cheedy. Like, he was the person who was very accurate on on predicting that YSL was going to get indicted in a RICO. He's an Atlanta journalist, certified. He's really good. He's came out and he said that the Atlanta Public Defenders Council, like the office, they're basically their specialized unit for Georgia's Public Defender's Office. The unit that specializes on gang cases says the office is actively preparing for a racketeering indictment on the 4PF and OMF case. Now I don't know what OMF is, and that he expects Lil Baby to be
Perish together in the end. Fans applauded the brothers' appeal for togetherness. But he also alluded to things people don't know and cautioned that the truth always comes out. The idea that there was more going on behind the scenes, including secrets and betrayals that had not yet been revealed, was strengthened by this live session. Many questioned what those things people don't know were and how. If they were made public, they might change the course of events. Another bombshell was published just as the situation looked to be reaching a fever pitch. Financial paperwork that had been hacked purportedly showed that someone close to the infant had mismanaged his riches, with millions of people missing and suspicious transactions raising red flags. The leak revealed a picture of chaos behind the scenes. Industry experts and fans were taken aback. Was this the cause of the treachery? A financial dispute instead of a loyalty dispute? Online debate over the leak was intense. Some said Baby should have been more cautious with his money, while others thought he was being abused by individuals he trusted, with rumors of potential legal action becoming more and more prevalent every day. The scandal only served to widen the rifts in Baby's group. Meanwhile, Baby's inner struggle was still reflected in his songs. More unheard songs emerged, each one more intimate and sinister than the others. The song's lyrics alluded to betrayal, loss, and a quest for purpose outside of celebrity. Lines such as, "How do you trust when the ones you love turn cold?" were in one very poignant song, desperate to grasp the Baby's mental state. Followers analyzed every bar, saying things like, "I'm trying to find my way back home." In the midst of all the confusion, Baby took the unexpected choice to invite fans and the media to hear his new songs at a pop-up listening session in Atlanta. Although the event was secret, sources claimed it was Baby's attempt to re-establish a connection with his fans and demonstrate that his love for music had endured. There was a lot of emotion at the event. Baby came on stage with a determined yet vulnerable gaze, speaking candidly to the audience. He declared, "This music is my therapy. I'm still here, still battling." Fans were moved to tears at witnessing a side of the Baby that is rarely shown to the public. "But I'm not the same person I was before." While some viewed this as a return, others questioned whether it was actually a goodbye tour. An unexpected reconciliation was also triggered by the occasion. Baby and his longtime producer openly reconnected on stage, indicating that they were determined to move on together despite their past conflicts. The incident was a glimmer of hope in the drama, suggesting that perhaps recovery was possible. However, as optimism began to grow, yet another startling discovery was made. Text messages between Baby and a well-known business associate were obtained by an anonymous source, indicating that Baby had been covertly preparing to leave the music industry for months. The texts talked about potential forays into the fields of fashion, technology, and philanthropy, all of which Baby had been discreetly investigating while everyone else was preoccupied with the drama. Fans were enraged by this revelation. Was Baby's abandoning rap a calculated attempt to rebrand himself according to his own terms? Or was it genuinely about pain and betrayal? With no obvious solutions in sight, the enigma grew more complex. The mystery was increased when it was revealed that Baby had been working on a covert project that was completely unrelated to his prior work. While some insiders believed it was a new business endeavor intended to ensure his future outside of rap, others hinted it was a documentary that would expose the unvarnished reality about the music industry and the Baby's personal struggles. When Baby's crew began posting subliminal clues on social media, the curiosity only grew more intense, igniting excitement and speculations. Fans questioned if this would mark the end of Baby's rap career or the start of something much more. Significant dot in the midst of all the gossip. Betrayals, reunions, and clandestine schemes. Baby's story evolved from a celebrity drama to a story about identity, resiliency, and the price of popularity. It was hard to foresee what would happen next because each turn unveiled a deeper degree of complexity. The ultimate twist in this chapter, a leaked private chat between a newborn and a close family member, was exposed just when it looked like the roller coaster could go no higher. In it, the infant voiced his fears of losing himself amid the pandemonium. He said, "I don't want to be known as the guy who quit." This sincere revelation offered fans a fresh viewpoint on the rapper's struggle by revealing the human side behind the headlines. "But I also don't want to lose who I am trying to be." Fans were yearning for answers as their emotions were at an all-time high and their queries were mounting. Would Baby discover contentment and meaning outside of rap? Or was this the start of the end for one of the biggest names in hip-hop? Everyone was waiting to see what would happen next as the plot teetered on the brink of disaster. And believe me, the biggest surprises are coming in Part 4. The ultimate betrayals, unexpected reconciliations, and the true cause of Baby's abrupt resignation. Make sure you don't miss it. New revelations started to rock the entire rap world as the tension over Lil Baby's destiny escalated. The shocking discovery that the betrayer was not operating alone came just when fans believed they had the plot stitched together. According to insiders, a strong industry executive who had long viewed Baby as a challenge to the established quo was the secret mastermind behind the scenes. This CEO, whose identity has not been verified, is accused of masterminding the entire plot to undermine Baby's authority and command over his own profession. Insiders claim that they deceived the traitor into causing strife and mayhem while covertly making money off of the Baby's failure. The disclosure rocked the music industry by revealing a murky underside of corruption and power, struggles that few had previously dared to discuss. Baby's closest supporters responded by promising to reveal the truth. Baby's manager, producer, and family members convened in a dramatic private meeting to plan their next course of action. There was a newfound sense of resolve despite the somber atmosphere and raw emotions. The manager of Baby strongly stated, "We're not just going to sit back and let this happen. We must fight back and take back what is rightfully ours." However, the drama took a personal turn before they could take action. According to the Baby's mother, the family had been dealing with the aftermath more than anyone had thought. She revealed that behind the scenes, Baby had been withdrawing, struggling with depression, and considering permanently quitting music. In a rare interview, she stated, "It's heartbreaking. He is incredibly talented and motivated, but the pain has been unbearable. All we want is for him to be content and healthy." Her remarks resonated with fans all throughout the world, igniting a wave of support and demands that Baby put his health first. However, there was still a lot of pressure on the industry to predict Baby's next move. While fans were clamoring for fresh music, Baby shocked everyone by announcing a surprise pop-up show in Atlanta during this emotional upheaval. The concert swiftly became the talk of town, and tickets sold out in a matter of minutes. Baby sang unreleased songs full of unadulterated emotion and compelling storytelling, and the night was electrifying. The audience listened intently, seeing a side of the Baby that was both helpless and vulnerable. Baby spoke openly to the media following the performance. "I'm not finished yet," he said. "A lot of pain and loudness have been experienced, but this is only the beginning. I'm here to make music that speaks to the truth." His statement inspired optimism among his fans, many of whom thought it might be the beginning of a significant return. But just as optimism was growing, a startling turn of events occurred. A leaked video of the infant and the traitor meeting again appeared online, this time in a public place, but with a completely different tone. The two were observed shaking hands and exchanging words that alluded to a potential ceasefire rather than animosity. Numerous concerns were brought up by the video. Was this the beginning of a reconciliation, a commercial transaction, or a calculated move in a bigger game? Conjecture erupted, while some thought the discussion was solely about safeguarding economic interests. Others thought Baby had made the decision to forgive and move on. Everyone was captivated and anxious for answers because of the ambiguity. Then, unexpectedly, Baby released a mysterious new song that seemed to touch on every aspect of the story. The song's lyrics discussed rebirth, strength, treachery, and suffering. He rapped, "I fell, but I'm rising again." Critics hailed the song as some of